Welcome to this week's episode of the It's OK Kid podcast. Today's episode will have the future of Scotland's Thai boxing. We've got Ben, the freight train Cunningham. We've got Mason Marvel Bradley. And we've got Aidan, pretty boy Digby. So we'll dive into this this episode's about kind of mindset, your personal growth all the way through the journey to where you are today. So let's start at the very beginning. Can you take us back to how you first discovered Muay Thai, what got you into it and what kept you coming back? And we'll go with you first, Ben.
I'm a bit different to the other two boys. Like I've been about the gym for I think 12 years this year. It was all started just a wee guy and I was like, need to learn how to fight. Something everybody should learn. And I just kept coming back. But I took a wee break later on and then came back and fought for the first time. And then 10 fights later, here we are. It was just about not getting bullied and stuff like that, really. Everybody should learn how to fight.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? But as I said, I'm different to their two boys. Like they started a lot later than me, and I've been about the gym pretty much my whole life.
Yep.
Just always been sporty. But Thai boxing's always been the main thing for me. So just like that.
How about you, Mason? How'd you get into it?
I started about a year and a half ago, probably coming up in 2 years. It was mainly just for weight loss, so it was just PTs and stuff at first. And then I didn't really have a training partner at the time, so then John got Ben up. So that upped my training for just PTs to like 2 or 3 times a week. Got a bit better, and then after a few weeks he's like, I think you should try out fight. And then it was me and Aidan's first fight that August. So we started training together and it's been that since then, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Stuck with me.
Aye, stuck with him since then.
What about you?
I started for fitness. I was just going to the gym, lifting weights and that. And then my pal gave me a shout out, Kyle Nisbet, said to me, he was like, oh, I'm going to this gym, do you want to come up? And I was like, aye, alright. So I was up 1-2 days a week maybe, just doing the classes. And he stopped coming and I kept going. Then I got offered a fight. Same story as everyone. I fought and I'm still here now, still fighting.
It's the same you got for a bit of fitness. That was the same as me. I was a wee bit older. You got for a bit of fitness and then Stevie goes, you could have a fight if you want. And you go, aye, okay, I'll maybe go for it. And then that's it. You're hooked. So what is it about the sport that made you fall in love with it? You say you just came up, you were training. What is it about the sport that made you keeps you coming back all the time? Because you're 18 now, you've been about the gym for ages, Ben. So what is it about the sport that keeps you coming back?
I think it's just the personalities that are at the gym. You know what I mean? It's a mix of people that are there. And since I started fighting, I've got a whole new group of pals now. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, I started used to.
Yep.
After my first fight, obviously I'd met Mason in the sort of March. And then ever since then, been stuck to these two. So it's just the personalities at the gym. And obviously now fighting and going forward, really going to the top of fighting, Thai boxing. But overall, it's just the people. That mean they keep you coming back. John O'Brien, probably the biggest personality that a lot of people know. But it's just the people.
Aye.
And obviously the sport, but you need a good gym with good personalities and good characters to make it easier to train and make it more enjoyable for you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I agree with Ben, but it was a bit different for me because I'd never really known what Thai boxing was before starting. But as soon as I started, it's like a drug. You're instantly hooked. So see, like, coming back for training, because I had a lot of weight to lose at the start. So I'd go to training 3-4 times a week after, do a 10k. And then when I'd be in for my run, I'd just sit and watch seminars and fights and everything else. Just anything about Thai boxing I could find. Instantly just fell in love with it.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean you had a lot of weight? What weight were you?
Like 97, 98.
Were you?
Aye, about 98 kilo, and then John was watching me at 72.
Yeah.
So, aye, about 25 kilo.
His head was about 40.
Aye, my head was about 40
Your
kilo.
legs and all.
Aye.
See when he kicks you, Christ almighty. What about yourself? What makes you keep
Just
coming
do
back?
it for the attention.
Attention. I'm not surprised.
Can't hide.
Pretty boy. So I've got a son as well, and I'd love, because I do, like you're saying, Ben, you're dead close, and I see that, and Caleb's 6. yous must have mates. Well, we're for Johnston, yous are for Renfrew. Yous must have mates. What's your mates' perception of what yous do? Did they ever try and entice you back onto the streets for a drink? What keeps you in the gym versus hanging about the streets?
Well, when I started fighting, I was in high school. I started fighting at 16.
Yep.
And then I'd left school. Obviously, stuff happens. You lose pals. And then I've just kept going and going and going and going. And then the more and more you realise that your real pals stay about and they'll see the dedication. And obviously, these two are in the same boat as me, I think. Do you know what I mean? You don't talk to as many people as you used to before you started fighting or Thai boxing. But a lot of people just see it as a hobby, whereas a lot of us see it as like a set end goal. We want to be at the very top. So, sometimes you get people trying to entice you back into no doing it, or I can take a night off. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you try your hardest not to. But I think it's gone pretty well for 3 years now. We're not on the streets, so we're in the gym most days. So
In a fancy studio right now.
fancy studio.
It's going up. I got that as well. See, it was always when you're in fight camp, you're dieting, you're out with your mates, and you've decided you're not drinking, and they're going, just have a drink. I'm like, you don't get it, which is fine. Do you know what I mean? You don't get it, which is fine, but is that what it's like for you?
I wasn't really a big drinker before starting anyway. I don't see the point. Probably drank 3 times this year or something.
Yeah.
It's not really my thing.
He also has no pals.
Right, okay. So, talk a wee bit about the challenges. So I see yous. What impresses me about yous, and it's the same with Lee, I know Lee's kind of the blueprint of where yous want to go, World Championships, fighting in Thailand. But how do you handle moments of doubt or fear or even failure? I mean, I've seen it, I know how you handle it, but how do you think you handle it for your end?
Like the fear of losing and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I think every fighter's had it. You always kind of, you think about, you try not to think about losing.
Yeah.
So always think about, as soon as losing comes into your mind, there's always going to be doubt there. And try use things like visualisation, visualising the stoppage, visualising your hand getting raised, and that just removes any doubt, any thoughts of losing or anything like that, just instantly out of your mind. The way I think about it is that losing shouldn't be in your mind. Doesn't matter who you're fighting. Could be fighting, I don't know, Sanchai, do you know what I mean? You could be fighting Lee, somebody like that. And
well, sometimes we have to on a Thursday night.
on a Thursday, you need to think, oh, I might get beat here, but you shouldn't really think that going into a fight, in my mind.
Yep.
Like, I never really think about losing, and the only time I ever did, I get beat. Do you know what I mean? The only time I was like, oh, I might get beat here, I got beat.
So that entered your mind?
It entered my mind,
right,
and I get beat. That was earlier on this year, against a boy I could barely have with on the MTB, and before walking out, I'm like, oh, he's quite big. There is a chance of me getting beat here, and I went and get beat.
It's crazy that, isn't it?
Aye.
It's crazy. I always remember I fought a boy for Dumfries, Dougie Brotherston, and he couldn't make the weigh-in. And he sent a video, obviously. I remember coming out, it was me and JR in the changing rooms, and he came in, he's like, I'm really sorry, I couldn't make the weigh-in. And I touched his shoulder. I swear to fuck, I'm like, he's made of stone. He's made of stone.
Aye.
Fuck it, it was that. And I beat him, but I can just remember getting back in and I'm like, JR, he's fucking solid. He's massive. And then when you see the pictures after it, he's no. Your mind plays total tricks on you. What about you? Any fears or doubts? How do you deal with it?
I didn't really have a fear of losing because my first 2 fights I'd lost anyway. So, see, after that, like, it was only up for there.
Yep.
Because you're not protecting a record anymore. It was different for Aiden and Ben. Aiden won his first 2, Ben won his first 4. It was different for me. It was like 2 losses back to back, and then I had missed weight for the MTB.
Yep.
So, see, after that, it didn't really matter. See, if I went out and lost, I wasn't really bothered. See, even now, although I lost bothers you at the point, it doesn't really bother me overall. I've lost, like, see, as long as I go out and put on a good performance, my teammates are happy and I'm happy. That's what I need.
I happened to Lee. And I always use Lee as an example. He lost his first 3 or 4. So the expectation's gone now.
Aye.
Because that's the always thing, like, oh, I might get beat shit. And I've won a couple and my mates are there and there's no expectation on you to perform. Or See if you get beat straight, because you're going to get beat. See if you
you're
keep
gonna get
fighting
beat
and fighting,
eventually,
somebody's
yeah.
going to beat you. You can't fight that many times and no get beat. You have an off night. So see, I think losing early does help you, because then you're not worried about it, because it's happened to you.
Definitely.
What about you, Aidan?
I was still in school. My first 3 fights, I've had 4. So my last fight that I was in school was March, and that's a big. See if you lose and you know you're going to school on the Monday, it's a big like I'm gonna get absolute pelters. And then I lost my fight in March, and I actually nobody really cared. I went to school normal, like nobody cared at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then my last fight there, I get knocked out, and I had serious doubts about actually going back to the gym. 'Cause I get knocked out in 20 seconds.
Right.
Like, had to get an oxygen mask, I was out for 5 minutes. Like, I had serious doubt of whether I actually wanted to come back and if this is actually what I wanted to do. And I came back, and I'm feeling as good as I've ever felt, and I'm ready.
Ready to go. I think for me, and that was one of the best things that I'd seen. I'd never been about that. So Lee was the first person I'd seen, and we spoke about it in the last podcast, where he drew with a really good fighter. And in my head, because I've not got a world championship mindset, 'cause I'm not a world championship Thai boxer, I'm like, fuck, you done really well there. That guy's like quoted in Scotland. And then Lee was like that, right, rematch, I need to fight him again. And I'm going, I don't know if you're going to beat him. It was that tight, and he went out and stopped him. And I see that with yous. Like, when yous get beat, it's like, forget about that. I want to fight him again, or I want to go again. When can I get in? A lot of people are really, because to me, I think that's amazing. But that doesn't set you back. And yous are 18, and yous are going, this is where I want to go. I don't care how many setbacks I'm going to get. I think that's good for life. See people in life, get your reps in, just keep going. If you've got an end goal, just keep going, and you'll eventually get there. So, 2 seconds. My phone went after. So what was the fight? Was there a fight or an injury, like you're saying, or a moment that shifted, that you knew that this was what you wanted to do? This was a career for you rather than a hobby?
When I really knew this is what I wanted to do was probably to start the year. This year mainly. Last year was a bit different. That was when I really started getting the ball rolling with fighting, because I had 4 fights last year, 3 fights.
Mm-hmm.
I did 1 junior in 2023, I think, but this year I'd gone to Italy, gone to WBC World Championships and stuff like that, getting bronze. So I was like, right, I can actually go somewhere with this. And then fighting in Dundee there, fighting Pro-Am, I'd never won with a pair of shinies off. Do you know what I mean?
Had you know?
No,
Right, okay.
I had 2 C class at start of the year and get beaten both, and
Right.
I hurt my shin quite badly. And I took a short notice fight, a week's notice in Wishaw, and I went and beat that boy. He was a first timer, but I was injured.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to Italy, done what I done.
Yep.
And after that, I was like, right, I actually think I could go somewhere with this.
Mm-hmm.
Then moved on to Dundee, which was 2 weeks ago now. 2 weeks ago, I think, a week ago. And that was my first Pro-Am. And I put out my best performance yet, and I was like, right, I'm fighting at a decently high level now.
Yep.
I think I could actually go to the very top now within the next couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
A series length of 3 years will go to the very top. Obviously, Mason fighting Pro-Am on what Saturday? Is that Saturday?
Saturday, yeah.
So he's fighting Pro-Am this Saturday. I fought Pro-Am. Aidan's going to be fighting Pro-Am within the next 6 months. So, like, we're now fighting at a good level.
Mm-hmm.
We're an arm's length 580 class Muay Thai. So I do think that it's really just having that one fight where you're like, right, I've got a really good performance in now.
Yeah.
And then you go forward for that. But now, after watching like Mason and Dundee had a first tough 2 rounds and then went and demolished the boy for 3 rounds straight with clinch, I was like, right, he's going to go to the very top now.
Mm-hmm.
He's dead. He knows how to dig himself out of a hole. He had a tough fight and he knows how to get there. I had a good fight and won at Pro-Am now.
Yeah.
So I do think that it was probably just Dundee there, my last fight, that I'm like, right, I know this is what's for me, and
It was the Worlds in the summer, wasn't it?
Aye.
You got a bronze. She came third in the Worlds.
Aye.
I
Thanks to
definitely
my
noticed it with you. Was that?
Thanks to my cornering.
The cornering, aye.
Thanks,
World
cornering.
bronze cornering. I definitely noticed it with you. That's what I was saying. I was talking to Leo on the phone, and you're hitting harder. Obviously, you're getting bigger and that's what I says. Like the sparring now, because before you used to sparring, it would like 50% because you knew you're like that. Fuck, I better give him a dick. I've got
Aye.
fucking. He's doing me in here. My leg. I woke up the next day trying to get out of bed, and Lisa's like, "What's the matter with you?" I says, "My fucking legs fucked." Bed. She's like, "He's 18." I went, he's big though. He's a big 18. What was your fight? Was your fight at the weekend? Well, that's
No, it was probably June this year.
Oh,
Me and Aidan had fought in the same show, and Aidan had obviously got knocked out.
In 20 seconds.
In 20 seconds.
I don't know
yeah.
if you said that
Let's
before.
just-
Aye, I
everyone
don't know
know.
if he
Get
mentioned
out of the
that.
way.
So after that, like it was hard to take. I was sitting in the changing room. Ben was there for me. So was Ainsley Craig and Andy O'Brien. But I did not want to step in the ring that day. Like I wanted to go home. I wanted to be with Aidan. I just didn't want to be there. But they got me through the ropes thanks to like everybody that was there. And I went in and I got the stoppage, and after that it was brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't even go to the hospital either. He waited till I'd won and then
He was
came here
one
and
of
gave
the
me a hug
last
and then
fights.
left.
And I was that way, like I felt drunk, like my head was all over the place. My mum's like, "We need to take you to the hospital." I'm like, "We can't go. Mason's on." And he was like 12 fights
Aye,
after me or something. I
12
was like, "We
fights
can't
after
go."
him or something, and I went in and I got the stoppage in the 4th round, and the hug for him at the end meant the world, because everything in his life had just broken in front of him, and he was still there for me.
Yeah.
Aw.
Oh, it's lovely. No kissing on camera.
Aye, save that for later.
Exactly. I know, and that's see for me. What about yourself? Was it the gut check you've just had that's brung you back? Because it takes a lot once you've been knocked out. It happens to everybody though. As a sport, it could happen.
See coming out that ring and seeing the support from everyone, from our gym, from other gyms, from all over, that's where I realised that this is like,
Yep.
this is what I want to do. Like all these people messaging me, wishing me well, like that's a big. I'm just a wee boy who likes to hit things, and I've got all these people messaging me like support. Like that was a big moment for me, and that showed that people actually care about what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
So stuck at it.
How do you deal with fight night? Because I always remember my first ever fight, and take you back to your first ever fight. So I was told you go into so it was on Onyx, it was on John's show. It was like Winter War, can't even remember the year. There was going to be 1,000 people there. Fucking hell, I'd fought in front of 3 people in the gym, and it was like 1,000 people are going to be there. And a couple of guys that had been in the gym a few years prior had went and then no fought. Just the magnitude of it. And I didn't understand that, because obviously you're a wee guy thinking, fucking, he should be fighting. What the fuck's he? Why is he not fighting? I now know why he never, but I went into the gym and got there early, went into the hall when there was nobody in it. And they're like that, visualise 1,000 people steaming, shouting abuse at you, and then that's how you get your head around it. But walking in is, if anybody says they don't shit themselves, they're an absolute liar. And you're going to fight, and you've got your mates that are pissed out their face going, fucking kill him. How did you get on with that? How did you deal with the first fight, nerves, and was it a big show like that you were on?
I mean, like the 3 years were on the MTV for our first fight, so I was in the junior show.
Yep.
These two were on the adult show for N class, and obviously a different magnitude the junior show at the adult shows, but still busy. But for that first fight, I felt like I had that. There was that much not that much pressure, but it was like you've been training for this long, and now you're only fighting. So I'd been pushed to fight my whole time I'd been training, and it was just like, right, you've got all this pressure on you to go fight. Just go out and win. So all you need to do is just go out and win. I was only planning on having one fight.
And then just
kind of keep doing what I was doing, which was playing football.
Yeah.
At that point, but it was just all the pressure of that, and I was like, right, just go out and win. And I made it sound easy to myself. Went out and I did win that fight, but I then fought in a show in England, the Sandy Open or the Sandy Fight Series, whatever it is, and that was my first N class. And I walked out, and there was a group of maybe 20 for OBs and for Scotland. and I got booed to fuck walking it off all the English, and I was absolutely shitting it. Like, I walked out and I was like, right, well, I was getting booed here. I'm against it for the start, and I had a tough 3 rounds, and I stopped the boy in the 4th because you got a bit of confidence. Because when you start winning, the crowd will go silent. It's the same with always. If you're up against it with the crowd, they'll go silent when you're winning. But it's just, you need to make it sound easy to yourself, really. That's the way I do it. You need to make it sound easy, and the crowd can be, if it's a volatile crowd, it can be tough. And I think the 3 of us have experienced a big crowd. Do you know what I mean? Mason fought in Musclebound in August, and that's the biggest show in the last probably 10-20 years.
And once the bell goes, you're all right. It's the weight. See how obviously it's like a conveyor belt. Somebody's fighting, you're getting walked around the back. It's that. You're watching somebody, or you're watching somebody win, somebody lose, and you're like, fuck, I'm in there next. I'm in there next, right? Fuck, it's happening. Can I just say, no, I'm not doing this right now? Exactly. It's too late, you need to go for it. But once the bell goes, it was all right. But I was the same as yourself. I know we were fighting in Linwood, but he had brought bus loads up. And when you stop him, and then I was getting taken out the ring, and they were all pissed, and I'm like, they're going to fucking attack me. So I take my gloves off, and I was like, take my gloves off, and because I had to walk through them all, and they're off. I'm like, my name's going to be. So used to, well, the 3s were supposed to go to Thailand, but used to are going to Thailand. What's the expectation when you are over there?
Stoppages. That's the only thing.
Is it training camp?
Training camp.
Fighting? Is that what you're going for?
It's meant to be a training camp for a week, isn't it? A week, and then we're fighting probably the Friday or the Saturday. They're there. So
right, okay.
2 weeks. 2 weeks time we'll probably fight. Stoppages for 2 years.
Is that already set up before you go?
They've
got the information. There's no opponent yet, but we're gonna get.
Yeah,
you're gonna get one out there. Not there's that many fighters, but stoppages for 2 years. That's the expectation.
Fingers crossed.
Nothing less than stoppages.
So talk us through your discipline for it. Talk us through a week's training for you, because I know what you do, but just for people listening, what's a week's training look like for you 3 guys?
Well, Monday to Friday, and then a Sunday. So Monday's normally what?
Monday's pads. Tuesday we do clinch sparring, and then Craig Flown has an advanced class on after that. So that's normally like a 2-3 hour session. Then Wednesday we do a counter and aggressive drill, and just loads of drills and light sparring.
Mostly fight simulation stuff.
Yeah. Thursday night is the infamous sparring.
Yep, not well.
Friday depends. It depends on your injuries for Thursday. So if you're knackered, you're doing boxing pads or whatever. Saturday rest day. Sunday day Lloyd's, house sprints, and I'll sometimes do my S&C after that. Depends.
Are you going to the gym Monday to Friday, or is the gym at the weekend? Is that what you do the gym?
Well, me and Aidan are with Stevie Belcher, S&C, Fight Camp Conditioning.
Right, okay.
So we've been doing that. Obviously I've no recently because of fighting. But after Thailand, probably start that again, and then just get the ball rolling for December, because the 3 years are now matched. Well,
he's matched
last night.
Oh, did you
matched last
I got
night?
matched last week.
Good. But are you gymming as well? Are you doing the strength and conditioning stuff? Or are you?
No, yeah, I'm going to start it. It was just because that fight camp, they had got him halfway through. I was already in fight camp for Dundee at the point, so I wanted to start it at the start of a fight camp to see what differences I noticed.
Yep.
So I'll start them for December.
And when does the training for December start?
Training never stops.
Right now?
Training doesn't stop right now.
Yeah, well, I know that.
We'll see how this weekend goes with me, and if we come back with any injuries, and then take it for there.
Brilliant. So throughout your journey, what has Thai boxing revealed about yourself that you didn't actually know? What have you discovered about yourself that you probably wouldn't have had you not started fighting?
Discipline. Discipline and aggression. Because at times outside a camp, I'm just a big and I just kind of walk about and just do shit. But then when you're boys deep into fight camp, you realise that you just want to hit shit and you just want to like hurt your opponent. Do you know what I mean? Like, even on fight day, it's the exact same. Fight day all culminates into one really. It's just a big one day aggression for me. I'm not too sure about the other two boys, but
I'm the opposite. I don't
Aye.
really go in thinking it is aggressive.
aye,
It's just a fight. It's just to show where you are and where the camp has brought you onto. I don't view it as like war or violence.
What have you learned about yourself though? Because I know for me, I probably learned that I was tougher than I thought I was. And like your discipline and dieting and fighting, if you learned anything about yourself that you didn't know you had in you, you didn't know he was aggressive.
He knew he was aggressive. That's the thing. No, it probably brings the opposite, but it brings a bit of calmness. You just enjoy everything round about it. Like the two of us got really into running only because it helped Ty.
Yep.
That's what it is.
What about you?
What was the question? I just had
Have you discovered something about yourself? You discovered something about
I'm a
yourself?
cocky wee shite.
I can vouch for that.
It's toughness, really. Like, see if you told me 2 years ago that I'd be getting punched in the head and enjoying it, I'd have told you to ram it up you. Like, I don't know. I didn't think I had that in me to be able to get hit in the face and smile about it.
I definitely think it's a skill that you can learn. You're saying discipline. See if you keep going. Like Sir Lloyd, when I first started, Stevie brought us up, and he was like, "Right, you're in the fighting class," because there was the two classes. There's always been the two classes, but I was pals with Stevie. He's like, "You're in the fighting class." He's like, "Just come for 3 or 4 months, take your licks, you'll get better." And I'm like, "Fucking," and you were getting in it. It was like Chris Shaw was there at the time. It was JR, Rude, and you were getting leathered, and I'm like, fucking hell. But you just keep going and you keep going. And I didn't, like yourself, I wasn't super aggressive, but you quickly learn when you can be aggressive and when not to be aggressive. And it's crazy when obviously I watch you and we all spar together. You watch somebody knocking lumps at each other, and then the bell goes for time, and it's like, good round. And then you get back to your corner and you just wait. And you're like, what would you do at the weekend? Any problem? Then the bell goes again and you're back to kicking the shit at each other. That took me ages to get my head round, because if I seen somebody fighting in a pub on the street, they built their cell up to be aggressive, and then it was just windmilling for 30 seconds and then that was it. Well, was kind of controlled, and somebody's just leathered you for 5 rounds, and then they were going like, good, well done, mate. How you doing? Do you have a good weekend? I just couldn't get my head around that. So do you think it can be learned, that kind of aggressive style can be learned?
aye, it can be learned, but I mean, we've done hard sparring for a year and a bit, a good year and a half now. Do you know what I mean? It's the same group of boys that are always up kicking shit at each other really every week. So, and it teaches you that you can turn it off and on really.
Yep. That saves your energy. Because see, when you're emotional and you're not breathing, your arse goes and your gas tank goes, because you watch these things on the telly and the SAS things, and they get these celebrities to put boxing gloves on and punch fuck at each other basically, and they can't stop because they're so emotional. That was the first thing I learned. You can't be emotional because you start breathing out your arse, and then your gas tank goes, and then your mate knows your gas tank's went, and he's going to fucking boot the shit at you. So aye. So what about reflection? Looking back over your career so far, I know you're only 18. What are you most proud of?
Probably WBC World Championships. That was because it was something different for me. No, my first time fighting with elbows, but first proper time really. I'd fought with elbows in a Welsh Open last year. But aye, definitely Italy. That's where I was like, I'm quite proud of this. Do you know what I mean? I never really felt like dead proud of a win up until then, because I'd stopped my first opponent and I kept walking. We got the bus back to the hotel, and it was like me, Aidan, John, my dad, everybody else really that was there, the Team Scotland, Kama boys and all. Yep. And I was like, I'm actually quite proud of that. So this is the biggest stage yet. And then I went and got beaten my next fight, and it was honestly, I think, the best fight I've ever.
It was a war.
Aye,
The guy was massive as well.
Portuguese guy. It was. I stepped into the ring.
Portugal.
Aye.
That was a tank, man.
Stepped into the ring and I went. Fuck me. I went back to the corner. I got dropped in 10 seconds. First punch through, probably the most powerful right hand I've ever seen, and my head spun round, and I got back up and I went to the referee and I went back to the corner. Aiden's looking at me like, fuck, I'm seeing 3 of each of them. John's like, you want to go back out? Aye. John's like, you want to go back out? I'm like, aye, fuck it. And then after that I was even more proud. So
John asked you if you wanted to go back out.
John's like, you alright? You want to go back out? And I'm like,
Right.
aye. Because honestly, if it wasn't 10 seconds in, I'd have been sparked out like clean. But after that, I was dead proud. Oh, no, because if it was a win, I'd have been even more proud. But because it was like how tough it was, a fight, and I ended up just, the day after trying to go out of bed, I couldn't move because everything hurt.
Yeah.
But I was like, fuck, I'm actually really proud that I managed to. It was only a 3-rounder.
Bronze medal in the World Championships, that's unbelievable.
In front, it was the biggest stage yet, do you know what I mean?
What about you, Mason? What are you most proud of?
Probably my second fight on MTB. So it was a Winter War. I didn't win though, but all the other boys had won. So I'd been on, I think it was first or second, and I fought a boy for the Grip House. It was a good fight. He'd rocked me quite early, and I'd come back a bit, but it was a good fight nonetheless. And then I had cornered Aiden. Aiden had won dominant performance. Ben won stoppage, and then Lee had won as well. So see, although winning's enjoyable for a fighter, see if you can like get over the fact that you've lost and accept the other boys in the gym have won. Like you're not a good team player, are you?
Mm-hmm.
So I have always got that in my head. See, if I go out and lose, obviously I'll be disappointed, but I'll be happy for the other boys. I've never felt as much joy as that December show because the two of them had won the same card.
Mm-hmm.
Although I had took the loss.
Wow.
Inspirational.
Mature there.
No.
What about you, Ian?
I'm the same. I'm most proud of one of my losses. My fight in March, I had my rib cage snapped into 4 pieces. It was brutal.
It's not gone well for you.
this year has not been a good year, trust me. Yeah, round 3 or 4, he hit me with a body kick and literally just could not breathe. Every time I took a breath, it hurt. I went back to the corner and I was holding my rib and I was like, Mikey Law. I was like, Mikey, I can't fight. And he was like, what do you mean? I think my rib's broke. He's like, shut up, your rib's no broke.
Usual.
I literally cannot. I was literally in tears in the corner, and that was going into the 4th round, and I still somehow fought my way to the last belt. I get beat, but I fought 2-3 rounds with a rib snapped in 4 places, and I just couldn't breathe. And that was a big. I showed my toughness a lot in that fight.
Aye. I know, but I spar the 3s. I think the 3s are going to win in December, definitely. So see if one of your friends was starting, came to you and says, I want to start Thai boxing, what advice would you give them?
Go to John O'Brien. It's literally go to John O'Brien. Don't go to anyone else. You need to start where everybody starts, like at the classes. I'm not a fan of seeing people go straight into one-to-ones and all that. Do you know what I mean? I prefer people going straight into classes, and because you can build teammates for that.
Yeah.
Because there'll be a group of yous that will really want to fight. Like we've got boys in the gym now who've had their first fights in the ISK Open, and they're now starting to come in with us, build up teammates, and they all started for the classes. Aiden started for the classes, do you know what I mean?
That John's class?
John's class. Or even any other classes, do you know what I mean? But that's what I prefer seeing, because it makes it better for later on when you're fighting and then you've got all these teammates, all these people who already know you, so you can all hold pads for each other, all spar with each other, and it just makes a much better environment.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? So,
what about you agree?
Don't start in a sparring.
Don't start on a Thursday night at 6.
Don't start on a Thursday night at 6:30. Start any other time. Start my pad session. Do not start hard sparring.
Yeah. Well, Stevie used to hold the class at 7:30 or 7. Stevie Houston. And he would teach you the fundamentals, and he used to go up and teach the boys, and what's the name of the gym up in Coatbridge? With Nathan and that go. Hit Squad, aye. He used to go up and teach the boys their MMA and the MMA boys their stand up. So you were getting good fundamentals, and then at the end you would get your respar. So you'd be learning the techniques and doing the drills, and then at the end you could try them out in a safe environment. And then if you wanted to fight, you would move across into the fighting. But I would say if you're starting Muay Thai, get the fundamentals in. But see if you're going to fight, have a hard spar before you get and fight somebody in the ring. I've seen boys not having a hard spar, and the hardest they get hit is on fight night in front of other mates, and you see their eyes and you go, you're fucked, and you've just realised the hardest you should get hit is in the gym.
That's
it's always the hardest.
Everyone up our gym that's going into the first fight, I tell them all the same thing. If you hit him hard enough, he will wet himself. He will not want to fight.
Aye.
It's the same because nobody spars how we spar. We've had a few gyms up the last few weeks, and they've all said the same thing. We don't spar how you spar, and it's such a beneficial thing for us because it has made us all tough as rocks.
Aye. That's one thing over the years that I've noticed people come up and they're like that, fucking, you like fight each other on a Thursday night. I'm like, well, you're training for a fight. So, like, it's not going to be new to you when you step in the ring, and somebody's obviously, they've got their set of, their families at their side of the ring and your family's at their side of the ring with all your mates. Like, the hardest you should get hit is when you're in the gym. But I know you've started training with Lloyd Cochran. Shout out to Lloyd. How's that going? Because, I mean, obviously, you know, Lloyd's the hardest guy I've ever met in my absolute life. How's that getting on?
Oh, it's a different class. Do you know what I mean? He's changed to 3 years as fighters.
Yep.
I don't think if it wasn't for him, me and Mason could have different nights in Dundee a couple of weeks ago. Do you know
Especially
what I mean?
Mason.
Especially Mason.
With the clinch?
Aye, if it wasn't for Lloyd's class the
aye.
past couple of months, I wouldn't be able to do it.
Lloyd is the king.
The king of clinch, honestly.
He's just different. You can't meet him to like him.
Aye.
When you talk to him, you always walk out the gym knowing more. Like, it's never just a pointless conversation with him. But aye, it's just, that's probably my favourite day, apart from sparring night. Apart from sparring,
Sunday.
that's different.
Aye. Lloyd and Stevie were massive back in the day for us when we were coming up. Nobody, I mean, I'm going to obviously disrespect a few Thai coaches in Scotland, but I don't think there is much better than Lloyd and Stevie. They were so good for me. Stevie for the footwork for me because I'm not as flexible as you guys, and then Lloyd for the wee tricks in the clinch, teep knee drill. I don't want to give his drills, too many his drills away in case he battles me, but his teep knee drill is an absolute killer. But aye, unbelievable. So I'm going to go into, because Lee got it as well, I'm going to get into a few quick fire questions to finish off, right? So, what's one morning habit or ritual that sets you up for the day if you've got one?
Shower.
Wash. It's as good as area. Make sure you're clean for leaving the house.
8 Weetabix. Just no one thing you eat. 8 Weetabix.
Probably the same. Weetabix. 6 Weetabix. I don't have 8, but
6 Weetabix.
He's not a big boy.
Game changer.
Do you have a quote or anything that you live by? Mantra. I should have maybe gave you these before you came in.
Nah, I don't want to say it and too cringy.
Feeding the faith, starving the doubt. Me and Ben are right into Marvin Hagler and like all your old boxing.
By the way, I seen a post.
Aye.
Fair dues.
So that's
Fair
like
dues.
that's me and Ben's thing. See in the gym and all that. See if you're like up a Thursday or whatever. That'll be your hang. See at the end of the round, you'll hit the other boy with a boxing quote like "No Mas, Roberto Duran." So it's whoever thinks a new one that week.
I knew you would have one. See when he was like that, I knew you would have one.
Aye.
That was
What
one
about you?
I'm
If you get
pretty
one, you got to steal his.
I don't live by it, but I see it as fighting. I can't remember where I seen it, but it's like, don't laugh. I've not even said it yet.
I don't know what to say.
Fighting's like a high dive. Like you're climbing up the steps, you're just climbing, and then once you're at the top, you just go, and you just jump off this big thing, and you just go. That's how I look at fighting. Like you're climbing up the steps all through camp, however many weeks, and then you're at the end of that walkway, and you just go, and you don't think about it. You just fight. That's how I look at it.
One that you'll definitely be able to answer. What's your comfort food? What's your meal? Your first meal after a hard fight?
Oh,
Five Guys. Always a Five
Nice.
Guys.
yeah, yes.
Yes, I don't even know what
Or
that is.
Black
Right,
Rooster.
you need to know.
You need
What is
to
it?
get to know. You need to get to know.
What
It's
is
like
it?
a better Black Rooster.
All right, okay.
Or Black Rooster.
Aye.
Cafe Ender.
It's just
kebab
down the
shop
road.
up the street. Mate,
Renfrew, you commission?
They're spicy chicken pizza.
They
is
sponsor my
unreal.
t-shirts.
It's because they never shut either.
Their spicy chicken pizzas are on another.
They open it like 4 in the morning. I know, it's brilliant.
Spent many a drunken night.
I
in
know, you better not
Cafe
go there after Friday. You'll end up in a fight outside it. So what book or podcast or documentary, I know you've just spoke about Marvin Hagler, what's deeply inspired you recently? Have you watched anything that's deeply inspired you recently?
Before I fight or fight week, I normally go back and watch old boxing, sort of like Mike Tyson and Marvin Hagler. They're the two, especially like Mike Tyson. His interviews,
Yep.
what he says, it just builds aggression and the thoughts about fight night. And Marvin Hagler, as Mason just said, the quotes that he says when he's got the hat on that says war. That's what my gum shield says. Says war on it. A day with the hat, and just shit like that.
Is that every fight? Every fight
Aye.
you watch?
We all watched something. I know they two watch certain movies.
Yep.
Before.
Aye, I done the
Rocky,
same.
aye.
Aye. Was yours Rocky?
Rocky.
What one?
I've had 4 fights. I watched Rocky 1 before my first fight. I've watched the 4 Rocky movies so far.
Before. What's yours?
I'm a bit weirder than the other two. Like, see if I was to like cut weight or fight day, it's usually like Adele or Lana Del Rey in the background. See with music.
Aye.
Gay.
I watched. This is probably showing my age. See that? Have you seen that Warrior? Is it Warrior with Tom Hardy?
I
watched
aye.
that.
That's a good movie.
Like, for the aggression as well. So if you weren't a fighter or weren't aspiring to be a professional fighter, would you think you would be? Lee got that as well. Can't even remember what he said, but
I honestly can't tell you. Probably a football player sitting on the bench somewhere. Bro, that's what I was before I fought. So
I'd say the same. Bench warmer for a team. I
Aye.
remember playing amateur football before I started. Lovely one bench. That bench.
brilliant.
A male stripper.
Male stripper.
I'd probably still be in school, just being a normal wee guy in it.
been a normal wee guy in school. Right, boys, that's you. Thank you very much for coming in. I'm going to send the link to everybody's social media in here. I'll be in the post when I post the video. Cheers for coming in. We need to do more than 178 views for you to beat Lee.
Easy.
And then you'll
Easy
get
days.
Pretty Boys OnlyFans. That'll be in the link as well. There's a wee topless pic waiting for you.
I'm underage.
Aye, he's underage still.
That's all right. The Renfrewshire police don't follow me. Right, cheers, guys. Thanks for coming in.
Cheers, thanks.